Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Alec P. Baldwin. Update about him. Update about Amanda Bynes, right? It's a bunch of funny stuff. I can't remember it all. The Dave Chappelle thing. We'll get into that. Just a lot of good, solid, ridiculous celebrity stuff today. I'm going to cover the food shortage maybe tomorrow. But let's start off here with Alec P. Baldwin. Here's a big reveal, and Alec P. Baldwin showing that his skills as an actor are, not what they once were.
I do have some very unfortunate news to tell you.
What?
She didn't make it. Yeah. So Joel's still at the hospital, but the other person involved didn't make it.
Who didn't make it? Who are we talking about? Look at him. There's his...
Sorry. I just didn't want you to hear it.
He's holding his heart. He's going to pledge allegiance to the flag.
Outside of here. Is there something we could do for you?
I don't know. I'm really trying hard to muster up some tears. You got like any stories, like an old Yeller story or something. I need to muster up some tears, but I'm a little bit wrapped up in how my career's over. And
I want to go my way.
Of course, we could even give you privacy.
No, we're going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to go.
No, that's fine. Can I get you more water or anything? Do you want us to give you guys a few minutes in here?
I want to go my way.
boom, that was the big moment. The title of this is Alec Baldwin begs cops to grill crew over a box of bullets. He's already selling out his crew.
Calls that were prop bullets.
Okay.
That box disappeared, reappeared. I said, what was the length of time that it was gone? She said, I don't remember. And then it reappeared, and according to her, I can't speak for her, nor could she speak for Hannah, but it reappeared. I said, how much later? She said, sometime later it reappeared, and it materialized out of nowhere, on top of the table on the truck, or on top of the safe in the truck. And she told me unequivocally that box was the box where the prop long Colts were taken from to put into the gun. The shooting occurred.
He sounds so broken up. He sounds so sad and so distraught over what's just happened here. He's immediately pointing fingers away from himself, right? Typical Alec Baldwin.
They went back to get that box, and that was when they examined the box, and there were multiple live rounds commingled in that box. Multiple, she said.
Okay.
When they inspected that box. The point is, I have always maintained, and I still maintain, as you can imagine, that this is a accident in terms of the mishandling, the negligence. But every time I hear another little piece like this, it sounds like there's a chance. I'm sure it's slim. I accept that. I'm not looking for conspiracy. But every time I speak to somebody,
But you're bringing one up. You're just playing one on TV.
It sounds like more and more like there's a chance that someone may be tampered with this. And I'd be dying to find out from Hannah. I don't want to abuse Hannah or make her feel bad about what's happened, but what happened to that box of bullets?
Hannah Gutierrez is the armorer. So he's trying to finger her here. She's like 25, right?
Okay.
What happened? Where did that box, when it disappeared, what date did it disappear? How long did it disappear for? When it came back, where did you find it? I'm just begging you to
He's begging you. Try to save my career here.
to indulge me. I'm begging you to understand my intention here, which is that what happened to that box of 45 long Colts? The box in which they drew the bullets out of, I'm told, to put in that gun. The box that when this was over, they went back to inspect that box, and there were multiple live rounds in that box. That box disappeared. That box came back.
Wait, it disappeared when? After it was already in evidence, right?
Where did it go? For how long? I mean, an urgent question for Hat is, when the box of 45 long coats was misplaced, it was misplaced for how long? Do you recall how long? Hours? Days? When it reappeared where? When it reappeared, did it
And so she's just letting him ramble here, right? Like he's telling her how to do her job.
ever occur to you that it wasn't safe? Did it ever occur to you that when a box that was out of your custody, you have custody of all this lethal material, when the box...
Okay, so the big story here is, should Alec Baldwin have checked the safety of his gun he was shooting at, when he was shooting.
I'd light up a couple usually when I was working, because I'm so nervous when I'm shooting to get the job done. When I was shooting, or just stupid behavior. When I'm shooting.
Should Alec Baldwin have checked the gun, right? Which, make sure personally that it was empty. There should have been nothing in it, right? And that, whatever happened, whether he pulled the trigger or, there's this infinitesimal chance that he pulled the hammer back and, there was, the discharging of a live round he didn't know was in there. Should he have checked the gun himself, right? Should he have been more responsible? Should he have hired somebody who wasn't a 25-year-old girl to be in charge of just the guns, right, and not other things as well, right? Who wasn't even there when this happened. And so should he run a tighter ship? I mean, all these things as producer. Like, what culpability does he have as the sort of elder person, the most, seasoned and powerful person in the whole production, the wealthiest and most famous person, who's a part producer and a part, he's invested in this movie. It's his movie, right? And so what role did he play in not double checking the gun himself, which is something that other actors said that you do? Just open it up and see if there's what's inside it, right? Is there a live round in there? Because there shouldn't have been a blank or anything in there, right? There shouldn't have been anything in there because they were rehearsing. They weren't even filming, right? So it had, there's no special effects. He was just, they were just getting the scene down, right? So there was no reason for any of the gun to be loaded at all. And that he says that someone said it was a cold gun and handed it to him and he didn't double check, which a lot of the celebrities and people are saying, well, you should have double checked anyway, right? And so there's that. And then there's whether he pulled the trigger or not. I mean, I guess it's part of it. And then all the rest of these things that I just mentioned. So, he's trying to avoid, like if there's a conspiracy there, somebody dropped a bullet in there and, whatever it was, and the woman didn't hand him the gun. It was, one of the assistant directors or something that handed him the gun and said it was cold. That's his testimony. Then there would have to be, like something to take the blame off of him completely, right? Some alleged nefarious plot. But if there's, neglect, he's a part of that as a producer, right? If it's a slip shot, the thing's falling apart, they're not able to pay the crew, they're not able to pay hotel rooms for the crew, right? It's a B movie that's low budget and it's not going to do very well. And so, like, he's a part of all of that, right?
Box disappeared and came back and was out of your custody. Did it ever occur to you to take that box and say, we can't use it until we inspect it all?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree with you.
What was your thought process throughout the entire sequence of when the box of 45 long Colts disappear and then you load the gun with them?
Absolutely.
To me, as far as I'm concerned, that's the whole case. What happened to that box?
Yeah, and why didn't you check the gun? Like,
What's really tough for me is I have 6 kids. And we had to tell my older daughter today what happened. She started to cry. And she said, I'm going to go to school and everyone's going to make fun of me. My 8-year-old daughter.
So you told your daughter that you shot somebody at work. And her first reaction was she was going to go to school and people are going to make fun of her. It sounds like she's a real chip off the old block. Yeah, well, this is about me. Oh man, you mean she's dead? Oh, they're gonna make fun of me at school.
Half the jobs I had lined up between now and the second half of the year, they fired me. They don't want me to come.
Okay, so that $80 million you have in a couple houses and all of your assets that you have, and you're whining, you're like all the other people involved in this, right? Many of them aren't going to work again, including the woman that you shot and her kid, right? Like, my kids, they're going to have to go to school and they're going to have to, endure the ridicule of their dad accidentally shooting a coworker, in quotes, air quotes. And, and I'm not able to get jobs, even though I'm at the end of my career. And this was a B movie that I had to fund myself because no one really wants to work with me anymore. But, it's been tough on me. It's really tough. Maybe you can check that box and see if that 25-year-old armorer is in charge of some sort of nefarious conspiracy to take my career down. I don't know. It might be. I don't know.
They don't want me to come. Because we have people who are on camera. This is my fault. That ultimately, if I pointed the gun in her direction, even at her direction, Helena told me, she said, put the gun here, aim the gun here.
Yeah, it's her fault. It's her fault I shot her.
She had faith that everybody did their job.
Right. I mean, as did you.
I did. The press conference is tomorrow at 10.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, for the life of me, look at this. This woman is dead. I talked to her husband about an hour ago.
How is he doing?
He's going to sue me, but we're trying to work out that.
All he thinks about is other people. I told him about all this stuff. Now I've been calling you. I said, I'm obsessed with finding out how this happened. He said, Alec, you have to better manage your thoughts for your own mental health, he said.
And I'm going to sue you later on.
Those are his exact words. His wife is dead. He said, Alec, learn to manage your thoughts for your own mental health so you don't get sick from this. He's an almost inconceivably generous man, an ascended man.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to come back well when he's, nowadays suing you.
It's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, and I mean, to some token, he is absolutely correct, but everybody, it's also fair to say that everybody processes traumatic situations differently. And you have to do, what feels right on your time as well.
That's what I just hope you know. This thing with her, getting Hannah and getting Sarah Zachary in your sights there.
And do your best to ruin their lives because, I'm losing work and, my kids, they got to go to school someday. So can you make sure you take care of, these are the two people I'm offering up, right? 25-year-old armorer.
Getting her on your screen there and asking them to describe this chain of title, if you will, of the box of 45 long coats that disappeared and reemerged. And you did indeed purportedly get the shells from there. I'd love to hear all about that. I really would love to hear, because as I said to you, the tracing the chain of title of that round that killed Helena, what else matters but that? My gratitude to you for being so patient with me, and I'll talk to you at some point down the road, okay?
Of course, and if you have anything else, that's helpful or that you hear or...
maybe I could send you some, some headshots and, I do a little acting on the side and,
that would help aiding us in the investigation, feel free.
Well, people have said to me, one or two people, maybe more, have said to me, who could have had something out for you? Who could have had something out for you? Who was anybody on the set who would express to anybody some kind of malignant attitude toward me personally? And I never assumed, never in a million years would I assume that could motivate someone to do something as horrible as this.
Yeah, why would people I'm such a likable guy. Why would people have a malignant attitude to me and they would put a bullet in a gun that would ruin my life and, that I would end up shooting that bullet and killing someone else and ruining my life and my career and, my kids going to school and all these things. Who would do such a thing to me? Why would they do this to me? I don't understand why they would do it to me.
that could motivate someone to do something as harmful as this.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe in an accident.
He's a romantic at heart. I still believe in accidents. I still do. I still believe in accidents. I do believe in accidents. I still do believe in accidents. I'm a romantic. But I also believe in conspiracies when not the ones that other people believe in, but the ones that are about me and people trying to do something malignant to me.
Yes, and it of course could be. It's just a fact of who had these live rounds and how did they get where they got.
That's what we have to find out. Where did those live rounds come from? Maybe you could trace these things. I'm assuming with guns now you can trace where the bullets came from, what store they were bought at, by who.
Not individual rounds. They don't. I wish that bullets had serial numbers, but unfortunately they do not. But as far as manufacturer goes, yes.
Well, I will speak to you in the next day or so about...
More things you can do for me, You work for me even though I don't pay taxes there in Santa Fe, and, I'm in the middle of an investigation of somebody's, manslaughter or even possible murder now. But, I'll check in back with you what things you guys can do for me and help me out. They're not giving me the jobs they used to. So I got fired from a couple jobs, and they don't want to touch me because, I shot a person at work, and they're kind of sour about that.
What's relayed tomorrow, but again, everybody I talk to, it's like, that they all say the same thing. Live rounds are prohibited on the entire property.
Correct.
And so the question for Hannah is, Hannah, what live rounds, if any, did you have in your possession? If she says none, then someone other than Hannah brought them onto the set.
Absolutely. And, how did this box go missing, and who had possession of it at the time?
And for how long did it go missing? No one seems to know that but Hannah.
I'm pointing to Hannah. I want to, Hannah, I can't say Hannah enough to you. I won't say it in public because people get mad at me when I do such things. But here to you, Hannah. Remember? Like when, Hannah, everything comes back to Hannah. Okay, so let's go to one Amanda J. Bynes here with her face tattoo of a heart, her nose ring, which I think is dropping her IQ points for some reason. A few of my viewers, friends on like Instagram or Facebook or something, or both, sent me this, and then it disappeared. And I had to go searching for it on Twitter, but of course it's there because nothing ever leaves the internet of this significance.
Truly want to apologize to Paul.
Okay, thanks. I don't think you've ever done anything to me. Is it me you're talking to, or is that other Paul? Because I don't think it's me. I think you have to apologize to your Paul, who you embarrassed on Instagram by airing your dirty laundry.
For airing his dirty laundry. It was not my...
Airing his dirty laundry? You aired his dirty laundry on Instagram.
Want to apologize to Paul for airing his dirty laundry. It was not my place to say what I said.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that when you're in an intimate relationship with somebody else and you're still somewhat semi-famous and you go on, or just a normal person, I guess, as well, and you go on Instagram and you start ratting that person out to your followers, leaving, a trail of videotape and accusations behind about a person that you care for, that's not a good idea? If everyone gets wind of this, I won't have like 1/4 of my content, right? If celebrities realize that going on Instagram and talking about personal issues isn't a good thing, a bunch of my content will disappear. Don't let anybody else hear about this, Amanda.
And I wish I wouldn't have. I'm hoping that everybody will move past it. I'm going to stop talking about it, but I just wanted to make this statement. Paul is a great guy. He's
a great guy.
Pre-law in school. He's
in pre-law. When he isn't doing drugs and watching questionable porn, he's in law school.
And I'm super happy with him. We're going to move forward, and That's it.
Okay, we'll put it to rest. issue resolved. Is there anything else you want to say?
Paul looked up MILFs. Moms and Sons just popped up.
Okay, so good. All right.
Also, I went to CVS, bought a drug test. Paul tested clean.
Okay, so all right, now we have restored Paul's good name. Then there's this, right? JoJo Magooze. Here he is here. So there's guys in mask over here. One guy, JoJo Magooze, has abandoned the mask idea, even though COVID still exists, but it's people have lost interest. They're giving awards out to handy-capable people. And JoJo Magooze is going to do an epic gaffe. I mean, this might be one of his worst. And it's just so clueless of him.
And wheelchair basketball player Matt Scott.
Okay, this guy right here, wheelchair basketball player Matt Scott, just got an award. And so what's one of the worst things that JoJo Magooze could say right now? Like the last announcement was about a wheelchair basketball player. What do you think is one of the worst things JoJo Magooze could say?
Here we go. Don't jump.
Yeah, he said it. Because basketball, one of the biggest things about basketball is jumping, right? Running and jumping, but jumping, right? People, dunking and jumping. Jumping is part of the fun of basketball. That's why I like to play. I used to play basketball. I like to jump when I was a kid, right? Younger. Everyone likes to jump. You know who can't jump? Somebody who's in a wheelchair, right? And so it's about as an insensitive a thing as you could say, right? Like what could be more insensitive than that? I mean, to review this, he just gave an award to a handy-capable basketball player who's in a wheelchair, and then he yelled out, "Don't jump," and, I mean, for no apparent reason, right? Because he's JoJo Magooze. I'm going to go into a further explanation of this in a moment.
Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump. She's our photographer. Look at her up there.
So he's saying it to the photographer, don't jump. Now, I don't know if the photographer is up on some ledge taking these pictures, or I don't know what prompted him to say that. But this is one of the functions of dementia, right? So when you drink alcohol, the part of the brain that's responsible for perceiving yourself as others see you is immediately impaired. I mean, there's ways that anytime you take some sort of a toxin, anytime you take some sort of, a drug, the reason they work, they usually block something from working or impair something from working, right? And it creates some sort of, alternate version of reality that you're perceiving because you don't have, the same functions as you did before, right? Blocking your pain, blocking your ability to feel pain, or whatever it is, right? It's causing your body to not function, right? And so that's why people act like fools when they're drunk, right? Because they can't see themselves as others see them because they're impaired. And when someone has dementia, parts of their brain and parts of their consciousness, I mean, there's, calcification of the pineal gland, right? Other things that happen. Pineal gland. Pineal gland. And things happen to your brain from toxins and years of eating bad foods and bad living and maybe even spiritually bad thoughts and, right, living a depraved life and living, a life of toxicity. It starts having an effect on your system and your organs. And you can have your organ failure. You can have your organs not doing what they're supposed to do. And that could create, hallucinations and, all kinds of things, right? And so as your body breaks down, your perception of reality also goes with it. And somebody with dementia, they lose the ability to have a filter. And you see this all the time. If you know anybody with Alzheimer's or some of these different types of, mental deterioration, their brain doesn't work as well and they lose their filter. Not everything that you think you should say. And, I mean, now with the internet and now with what people are so self-obsessed, they think every thought that they think is worth verbalizing to other people. But there's lots of thoughts you have that aren't supposed to be shared because they're, not good for humanity and certainly not good for you and the way people perceive you, right? And, they're thoughts that should be suppressed. But in JoJo Magooze's case, the guy is, this is one of the signs of dementia. Whatever he thinks, he just blurts out. And, he thinks they're jokes, or maybe not. But why would he say don't jump? Aside from the fact that they just gave an award to a guy in a wheelchair who's a basketball player, right? And so aside from saying don't jump, because he's not addressing that person, but that's what it sounds like, right? They just gave him an award. The next thing that JoJo Magooze says is don't jump, right? And then he says he's talking to his camera woman. Why would he say don't jump to her? Like, what, was she on a ledge? Where was she? Was she in a precarious position? That he would put this idea out about jumping, right? Like, it's not funny and it's weird, right? But he does things like this all the time. He doesn't have a filter because his brain, this is, he has dementia, and the mainstream media and everyone else refuses to cover it, right? They refuse to acknowledge what all of us can see is a guy who's broken down mentally. He's a nightmare, right? That's a nightmare situation. And so there's a new, show or movie out on Netflix. Well, let's just watch the intro here.
Congratulations. You've just been kidnapped into the world's oldest and most effective secret society of...
So they have an inverted, pyramid here, right, with the eye in it. It's a C. It looks very much like the CBS eye.
5 men. Lord Lordington, our highest-ranking member, former Australian media mogul, Bruce Baldwin.
Bruce Baldwin, supposed to be Rupert Murdoch.
Ex-member of Putin's oligarchy, Mishu Ivanov.
Somebody from Putin.
Alice Cooper's former manager, Shep Gordon. And you.
You're part of a secret society. And so, they're just not hiding this stuff anymore. They're fully embracing it, right? That there's this idea of like these little fraternal organizations of men, boys who have lots of power. They're still in the, have some college fraternity type of mentality. Netflix sucks, by the way. It's dying. Netflix is blockbustering itself, right? Now there's all these other streaming services. And Netflix's own content that they produce is so leftist, is so, pushing the agenda that they're hemorrhaging, they're hemorrhaging subscribers here. Like, I can't show you this whole trailer. They'll copyright it, either block the video or not let me monetize it, which is stupid on their part because, their network is dying. They need as much publicity as possible. And people might watch this because, it's a joke, but it's got this conspiratorial theme here. I'm interested in this. I'll probably watch this at some point. And so they're just stupid for, and I could say that to them and they probably would allow me to show it, but it would take like 3 or 4 days, right? So, Netflix is just stupid. Their business model is failing.
Ken, man on the street opinions come from Twitter now.
Here's as above, so below.
Maybe you're destined for something greater.
Here they have it here, right? This is, we know what that is. I don't need to say anything.
There is something rotten within
It's a Mike Myers film.
the Penn Tavern. I got a plan to get you in.
Here we go. There's the tower. It's a crappy Mike Myers thing, right? And here's the inverted pyramid with the Illuminati eye. I mean, they're embracing all of this stuff, right? They're making a comedy about it, but they're still embracing it. There's lots more symbolism in the trailer, a lot of goofy Mike Myers jokes. And then this. Some kind of GIMP thing with a guy having if I get it to stop there. Having some sort of cross on his chest here. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff there. I'm not going to describe all of it. You can go back and look for yourself, but there's a lot of disturbing imagery and symbolic stuff here.
Off the record, is the Illuminati real?
Yes. Both Beyonce and Jay-Z are part of it, sadly.
That's what Lemonade is about.
So, just goofy. Then there's this here, right? They're just, you know, they're just embracing it, right? Here's the ending scene.
We are the...
Oh, the Illuminati?
No. We are the...
Oh, you're the Masons.
So this is the second trailer. You saw the one with Doctor Strange, you know, the Illuminati will see you now. And so 2 trailers within a couple of weeks, they're just, you know, embracing all this stuff now, right? You know, it's become like a joke. They're making it a joke. They're using it to market their content. I mean, it's, you know, it's a shout out to all the people that researched this for years. And they, you know, they made fun of us. They censored us, but now they're using it because this is what they do.
The Illuminati will see you now.
So one of my viewers sent me this. I'm not sure who this person is. There's no context of what this is about. We'll watch a little bit because it kind of fits into everything else we're showing here today.
People all the time always say, you're so lucky. Screw you, I'm not lucky. I worked for free.
You look pretty lucky to me. You got the nose ring. You got the whatever that is going on there. You got the Mickey Mouse ears. Come on. Like when I look at that person, I say, hey, they're lucky.
I was living on top ramen noodles and seaweed. In an apartment that was the size of my living room with a roommate.
Okay. I don't know what this person does. I'm not going to cover it here, but I thought that part was at least funny. One of my viewers sent this to me. So I was covering this guy, Sadhguru, and how he's worth $25 million, and he has these in some kind of program that costs hundreds of dollars for you to do online. You know, he's a scammer, right, and a poser. And, you know, he had this to say. He went to the World Economic Forum, which is a red flag, right? Because if you're a spiritual person, you can accept that the World Economic Forum exists, right? You can accept that there's, you know, this is part of God's plan, whatever it is, right? It's not the good part. It's the part of the system collapsing, which is, you know, ultimately going to happen. But when you embrace them, which he's doing here, and so this guy asks him a question here.
So in the session we just attended here at the Economic Forum, I think there was a sense of relief, actually, in your frankness. You brought up some issues that others are reluctant to bring up.
That's his trouble. He's just too damn frank.
Always.
That's a fake guru laugh right there.
All the religious groups are against me because I'm talking about population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
So that's funny, right? Now, there's going to be depopulation. I mean, there's going to happen. It's talked about in the Whispers of the Brighter World, you know, the Heartfulness. In various places in Heartfulness, it talks about we're going to enter a phase of depopulation. It has to happen. We have peak population, and then it's going to go in the other direction. It's starting to go in the other direction right now, and it's going to start to expedite, and we're going to see there's going to be less and less people, right? But why are you laughing at that? Like, listen to these two MNFers.
About population. They want more souls. I want less on the planet.
Right? Why are you laughing at that in some, you know, power broker conference here, the World Economic Forum, right? Where people are deciding such things. And like you would laugh about depopulation, right? Like, you know, and you're a spiritual person. I want less souls. They want more. And the soul energy here stays the same. Laoji, the first master of the heartfulness system, said the soul energy stays the same. When a person gets liberated and their soul no longer is bound to planet Earth, then that's something. But other than that, there is the same amount of soul energy. And whether, you know, it manifests in one, like if you have a species of animals that goes extinct or is, you know, the soul energy has to go into something else, right? The soul energy behind the creation of, you know, there's spiritual energy behind the creation of everything in the material world. Just like code creates, you know, whatever it is on the internet, right? There's spiritual energy at the basis of all creation. You need spiritual energy to create material reality. And so this guy's just a clown, right? He's a poser. I mean, it's more evident than, it's just really evident here. He's a faker, right? He plays a part. Speaking of creepy, I don't know who this woman is. She's some British performer, maybe a singer. And she's there with Matt Damon and now the recently been discredited Bill Murray. And Bill Murray's going to grab her hand here, right? So he grabs her hand forcefully, right? He grabs her hand. And he pulls her over, physically moves her over here, sits her there between them. And then she reaches over to, I think this is a guy on Downton Abbey. And then she, she participates. And Bill Murray moves over in a creepy way with his creepy hat. Because he's Bill Murray, right? Then he flips her over.
Bill Murray, stop that!
And this guy, even it's too much for him, right? This guy. Stop this, Bill Murray. And Bill Murray is, Bill Murray. He starts, probing her here. The fake audience is fake laughing. And then she flops down. And this guy copyrights everything, so I can't, show you much more of this, but it's just Bill Murray getting creepy here. Matt Damon's he realizes, Matt Damon knows this isn't going to play well at some point. Matt Damon's smart about this, right? And so then this happens at the end of this little exchange.
I just love that Lord Grantham's a freak.
And then Matt Damon says to this guy,
Eating her shoe?
Are you eating her shoe?
That's one hell of a shoe.
And so anyways, Bill Murray, things are starting to pop up everywhere in Bill Murray. So as most of you already know, Dave Chappelle attacked on stage at Hollywood Bowl by audience member with armed weapon. I'm not sure what the weapon was, but it was pretty clear that this guy got messed up. Here's the video.
History.
The guy ran up and body blocked him. The guy was wheeled out in an ambulance. Isaiah Lee, 23, and they effed him up in the backstage. Dave Chappelle, made a joke about it. Dave Chappelle's security, they chased him backstage and they beat the crap out of the guy because, they wanted to send a message. So then there was this. One of my viewers sent me this. They're all chasing him. They chased the guy back there. That's where the beatdown happened. And Chris Rock comes on stage.
Was that Will Smith?
And he jokes that it's Will Smith, so Will Smith's taking it on the chin even though he wasn't involved in this charade. So then there was some Kardashian news. I don't know how he got sucked into covering the Kardashians. It was originally a Kanye meltdown, I like Kanye a lot, but I really find it difficult to tolerate the Kardashians. But anyways, Ray J claims Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner were in on sex tape. So it says here, I never leaked anything. I never leaked a sex tape in my life. It was never been a leak. It's always been a deal and a partnership between Kris Jenner, Kim, and me. And we've always been partners since the beginning of this thing. Now, this is something that's backed by Kanye, who accused, when Kanye ran for president and then had his own, falling out with the Kardashian family, because he went up and had no emotional sort of breakdown about abortion and things and all of the rest of that. And he went after them on Twitter, and he said that Kris Kardashian had pimped out her daughter in the sex tape to make them famous. And so that makes total sense, because they wouldn't have had the reality TV show and the fame that they have and the interest they have from the public, and they wouldn't have 2 billionaires in the family and everyone else is multimillionaires. They all merch up. They've all merged up, and they all, they're all really wealthy, more wealthy than they were before because of this sex tape. And, their dad was one of the the lawyers on the OJ trial. So those were their claims to fame. They didn't do anything. They don't have any skills. They can't sing. They can't act. They can't dance. They can't do anything. They just, they get operations and have, plastic put in their bodies, and they, act sort of superficial and bitchy, and create a lot of drama on their show, and and they merch up and they sell a lot of crappy merch to the dopey people that follow them, the young women that follow their their lives or whatever it is. And, it's a low vibrational thing. And, of course, they're in on it, right? Pete Davidson comforted Kim Kardashian when the Met Gala dress didn't fit. If the hoe's dress don't fit, you've got to quit. Little OJ shout out. Marilyn Monroe experts. There's some Marilyn Monroe experts out there. Say Kim Kardashian isn't worthy. That gown is a national treasure. She wore the Marilyn Monroe gown that apparently didn't fit. And it was, I don't know, was it auctioned? Did she auction off and buy it? I'm extremely disappointed to see this 60-year-old iconic dress being worn in public. So maybe she bought it, and, Pete Davidson comforted her when it didn't fit because, when Marilyn Monroe was alive, they didn't have ass implants. Right? Kim Kardashian, Kanye West left SNL monologue over the word rapper. And apparently these things are being revealed in their new TV show because Page 6 is covering them on a daily basis or whenever the show's released. He walked out on SNL mid-monologue, so I haven't talked to him since. He's upset over the fact that the reason I divorced him, I used the word divorce, they wish I used the word filed for divorce, not words. And he was upset that I also used the word rapper. I said so much more. I am so much more than a rapper. I can't believe you said rapper. And so, there was that. Kim Kardashian wants one more wedding, 4 times the charm.
I don't think they're going to wait too long to get married.
She's one of the persons that pimped out her daughter's sex tape. But, she believes in marriage also. To Pete Davidson.
If I was to guess, they're going to fast track.
He already knew that they were trying for a baby. Yeah. To me, a baby, you're stuck for life. Marriages come and go. Yeah. No offense, guys. Yeah.
No.
Take it from me. And good luck at your wedding. I believe in love. That's why hopefully there'll be just one more wedding for me. 4th time's a charm.
Yeah, no, it's not. Right? I think it's 3rd time's a charm, but, whatever. All right, that's the soul-sucking Kardashians. So for whatever reason, these things are taking me a lot longer. I wanted to make a video for my other channel today, and I don't know if I'm going to get that done, but I'll get started. And I want to do a bunch of comment stuff, and I want to get to the Dropout TV series. So all those things I was hoping to do here, some of them. But that's it for here. That's it. Another wonderful day in the neighborhood. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely pointing from the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.